What's up, you guys? Sci-Fi Guy 2094 here. I'm going to be talking about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. I just got back from the movie theater, and I have to say this movie is fantastic. Everything about this. Let's start with the cast. Everybody's casting was really good. Tom Holland as Telemachus is great. Matt Damon. Honestly, I didn't know Matt Damon had this much range, but he was great as Odysseus. Anne Hathaway killed it as Penelope. We have John Bernthal on here as Melon. Oh gosh, I can't. What is Melalanis or something? I'm probably butchering his name, but he was fantastic. John Leguizamo, um, he was the blind guy. Sorry, I can't remember his name. He was fantastic. I really liked his character. He did a great job. Robert Pattinson as Antonius was, man, he was good. I love Robert Pattinson's range. They say he's a chameleon because he can just like take on any role of any type. Like he's shown he's a very capable actor. He's capable of many different types of roles, many different genres, many different characters. He's just really good. Even had Mia Goth in this movie as a servant to Penelope, which is Anne Hathaway's character. And who else do we have? We also had, oh yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, who's Helen, and Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page. She's Sinon, which is a Greek soldier. So, all-star cast, star-studded cast, great, great cast. A lot of these actors and actresses Christopher Nolan has worked with previously. Of course, he's worked with Robert Pattinson with Tenet. He's worked with Anne Hathaway in Interstellar. He's worked with Elliot Page back when he went by Ellen Page in Inception. So he's very, familiar with a lot of the actors that he was directing in this movie. So that's just the actors and the characters. All-star cast, great performances. I mean, that's half the battle right there. But the script is solid. The script is solid. The directing is good. It's definitely a longer watch. Obviously with it being an epic, it's nearly 3 hours long, but it's great. I loved everything about this movie. We have even some horror elements that we never really see Christopher Nolan do in his movies, but there are a couple horror elements. The first one is when the Odysseus and his soldiers come to this island and they see a sheep and they're like, oh well, it's just a single sheep. Well, there's got to be a flock nearby, so they follow the flock and leads them to a cave, and they're like, okay, we're going to camp out here. But then there's this giant cyclops, right? So that was pretty scary. Like the sounds that thing was making, whoa. Oh man, the cyclops, he was pretty terrifying. Like, whoa. So scary element there. And then the witch Calypso, we see what happens when she starts feeding the men, and she transforms them. If you guys have seen the previous Odyssey, like the miniseries from the 90s, you kind of know what she does with the men, how she transforms them. But yeah, so some horror elements. And then Scylla, which was the six-headed beast. Whoa. I wanted to see more of Scylla. I really did. But, I mean, what we got was fine. But, man, I just wanted a little bit more. Action sequences were very good, top-notch. I loved all the action sequences. And, of course, the direction was very good. I just love everything about this movie. So, I have to say this movie is a solid 10 out of 10. I know some people say there's never a perfect movie, but to me, The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan is a perfect movie. I just absolutely love it. The performances, by the cast, the direction, the special effects. They all look really good. The story flowed very nicely. I love the scenes with the flashbacks when he's on the beach with Cersei, and he's trying to piece things together. Like, where's my crew? How did I get here? How long have I been here? Where am I going home to? Like, he knew something was off. So I just love those scenes and the flashbacks. It's all great. It's strung together really nicely to where you're not going to get confused that they're jumping back and forth. Like, it's still pretty linear to where you can follow it. His exploits from the war, his trying to return home, and the trials and tribulations. And then once he finally returns home, having all the suitors that are basically after his wife. And Tom Holland is great as Telemachus. He does a fantastic job. It's kind of like almost a coming of age story for him, because he's kind of becoming a man, and he kind of wants to take the throne as the king of Ithaca, but he's not ready. There's all these suitors, wealthy lords, who are basically just like rich people who are trying to riz his mom up. And he's like, night after night, they're just drunk and belligerent, and he's just like, he's sick of it. Penelope is sick of it. But, she's faithful. She has such commitment to Odysseus, and Anne Hathaway portrays that really well. So I gotta give a shout out to Anne Hathaway. She does a great job as Penelope, and Tom Holland is great as Telemachus. So I thought this movie was really good. I thought it was, amazing, for lack of a better word. Just amazing, incredible, fantastic. I give this movie, like I said, 10 out of 10. It is definitely one of Christopher Nolan's best movies. He's always reaching, he's always trying to improve, and I believe in the Odyssey he did just that, and he delivered us another incredible movie that will go down in history as one of the greatest films ever. So you need to go see the Odyssey. It's 2 thumbs up. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a great film. If you don't see it, you're missing out, because it is just that good. You need to go see the Odyssey.